Today, we're going to break down how a simmering conflict in the Middle East could absolutely explode into a full-blown global crisis in just 24 hours. We're talking about a chain reaction that could stretch from Tehran all the way to your wallet.
Right. So imagine waking up to this headline. We're not talking about a minor border skirmish or some limited strike. This is the real deal, the start of a major war. And the most insane part? It all went down in a single day.
So how in the world did we get here? How did this fire start? Let's dig into the first strikes, what they were aiming for, and the official reasons given for an operation this massive and this sudden. Okay, so the attack actually had two names. The US called it Operation Epic Fury, and for Israel it was Operation Lion's Roar. But make no mistake, they were two sides of the same coin, a massive coordinated assault aimed right at the heart of Iran's most sensitive military and nuclear sites.
But why then? I mean, this didn't just come out of a clear blue sky. The tensions over Iran's nuclear ambitions had been on a slow boil for years. But when the diplomatic talks completely fell apart in early 2026, both the US and Israel said they had intelligence pointing to some kind of imminent threat. So they framed this as a preemptive strike, a necessary evil really, to try and neutralize Iran's ability to build a bomb or wage a wider war before it could even start.
But here's the thing that truly stunned the world. It was the speed. This wasn't a slow buildup. It was just an absolute explosion of events, all crammed into one chaotic 24-hour period.
Just look at this timeline. At 7 a.m., the first bombs fall. By midday, it becomes terrifyingly clear this isn't just about facilities. They're targeting the leadership itself. Then the absolute horror. A strike hits a girls' school, causing huge civilian casualties. That was the point of no return. Iran immediately unleashed its own storm of missiles and drones, and by that evening, the world's diplomats were scrambling into an emergency meeting at the UN, trying to figure out what to do. And then this happened. In the middle of all that chaos came the confirmation. Iran's supreme leader was dead. Now, this wasn't just a military hit. This was a political decapitation. It created this enormous power vacuum right at the top of the Iranian government, while the country was under attack. I mean, the destabilizing effect of that is just off the charts. You know, a fire like this is never, ever contained to one spot. The initial strikes were like throwing a lit match into a room full of gasoline, and the flames immediately leaped across borders, pulling the entire region right into the middle of it.
Iran's retaliation was fast, and it was wide. They didn't just fire back at Israel. They went after US bases in multiple countries across the Gulf. And just like that, places like the UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait were directly in the line of fire. Soon there were reports of explosions in Tel Aviv and even in Dubai, a city famous for being a stable global hub. This wasn't a two-sided conflict anymore. It had become a regional nightmare. And the first shockwave to hit the rest of the world? Utter chaos in the skies. You have to remember, the Middle East is basically the planet's biggest intersection for air travel. It connects Europe, Asia, and Africa. And in just a few hours, that intersection was shut down. Yeah, this wasn't just a few delays. We're talking about a total system breakdown. Mega hubs like Dubai and Doha just went dark. Whole countries closed their airspace. Thousands upon thousands of people were stranded, and critical cargo shipments just stopped, indefinitely. And the fallout didn't stop at the airports. Oh no. The diplomatic and economic shockwaves hit with the force of a tidal wave, and they were felt far, far beyond the Middle East. So how did the rest of the world react? Well, it was completely split. Russia immediately condemned the strikes. European leaders were calling for calm and trying to get people back to the negotiating table. The UN, of course, was alarmed. And back in the United States, huge protests erupted, showing just how divided the country was over the decision to launch the attack in the first place. And here's the economic gut punch. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical energy choke points on the entire planet. So when shipping companies just stopped sending tankers through there, it was like someone put a clamp on the world's oil hose. Okay, so you might be watching this thousands of miles away, thinking, this is a distant problem. What does it really have to do with me? Well, a crisis this big has a funny way of showing up right on your doorstep. Let's break down exactly how. It starts right at the gas pump. When that strait closes, fuel prices everywhere shoot up, period. Got any travel plans? They could be thrown into chaos because of airspace closures halfway around the world. And the economy? Stock markets despise this kind of uncertainty, and that can affect everything from your retirement savings to the price of groceries. It all gets connected fast. And that leaves us with the really unsettling question, doesn't it?
In just one day, we went from targeted strikes to a decapitated leadership to a region-wide retaliation and a global economic shock. With the phone lines cut and the missiles flying, the whole world was left holding its breath, wondering, what happens next? And more importantly, is there anyone left who can actually stop it?